Best practices to grow your brand on Amazon.
There's 66,000 sellers that do between 1 and 5 million a year that live in the United States. So that's like my target demographic.
So let's say that you have someone who comes to you, they're part of the 66,000, and they want to go from 1 million to, let's say, 3 million. What is a couple of things that you look for in their brand to see if that's attainable for them? And then how long do you think it would take for them to get there?
Every brand's going to have a different experience, but there's some general best practices that I preach to. The first thing that I would do is I would look at their main image. The fastest way to grow on Amazon is to improve click-through rate. When you double CTR, it can be done in 10 hours. So for example, if we took a random product, so I've got some Vaseline on my desk here. Vaseline is a super old school, old distribution brand. So chances are, if we went and looked at its random listing, it'd probably be pretty unoptimized. And this text wouldn't be readable on the search results. You could maybe make the brand out, that's it. So if we were gonna redo the main image of this imaginary listing, we'd probably open up the lid, we'd probably take out some of the, whatever the jellies, what they're calling it, and probably have it seep over the edge. We'd probably have the root ingredient. I have no idea what Vaseline is made out of, but let's imagine it's a plant. It's probably not. It's probably an oil-based product. But let's imagine that it was a plant. We'd probably put the plant behind it. We would probably try and show the product in use a little bit, maybe have some hands rubbing. We'd put a giant keyword on here. Let's see what it's for baby healing jelly. So this is like for babies. So maybe have a baby with a cheek and then like a hand caressing and like, you know, moving it in there. And if anybody's uncomfortable or can't get that image to stick, they might put it on the packaging and blow it up like that. And so there's just a lot of things that you can do to get people more likely to click on the product, adding a keyword to the main image, showing the product in use, showing what it's made of, basically giving information. I would start with that. PPC would be the second track. We'd go in there and look at how the spend is occurring. If it's overspending in certain areas, I like to use what I call the golden keyword ratio. So I like 1 PPC keyword for every 2 organic. So for example, if your listing is indexing for 1,000 keywords and you're advertising for 1,000 keywords, I immediately know that your SEO sucks. And you have to go in there and fix your A+ content. By the way, A+ content indexes, you got to set the alt text of 100 characters of keywords, no commas. Don't forget to put Spanish on one of those photos because it's the fastest growing demographic. And there's just a lot of tips like that we could interweave and go through the motion. In short though, focus on traffic, not converting elements. Traffic is way more important. 7 times easier to double traffic than it is to double conversion. So those things come in the form of CTR, PPC, and SEO. On the conversion front, we could talk about design, we could talk about merchandising and copywriting, and maybe even catalog troubleshooting, as those often get in the way of a conversion. But those are the basic ideas and the things that I espouse.
That's actually really interesting. I resonate with all that. And I love, by the way, how you were explaining how to do that main image and what that would look like, because that is going to be the thing that makes you stand out more than anything else. And I love that.
I know the Amazon grind can be overwhelming. From account issues to low traffic, it's a lot to handle. That's where my Amazon guy steps in. Scan the QR code or click the link, and let's work together to boost your sales and make your life easier.